Also, Happy New Year, everyone! I hope y'all had a nice winter break and got a bunch of fun stuff and ate all the cabbage and black-eyed peas and ham you could. Also, for the new fans, yes, I'm alive. December is my busiest time IRL, so much so I genuinely have zero time to make videos, so I take the whole month off. Anyway though, I am back and picking up where I left off in my last video where I said I'd redesign the Speaker of God, and man was this a tough redesign, mainly due to the constant new info dropping about her during the time of her release, and the two biblical versions of the speaker, making it hard to pick references, but I'll get into that later as we need to talk about this design, cause it's a lot. Now granted, the colors do hide a lot of it, but still, and don't get me wrong, I do actually like the speaker as a character, though I do kind of think she came out of nowhere and should have been present in season 1 for the trial, minus the mural that hinted to her, but like, who was ever gonna put that together? But again, I did enjoy her overall character. Anyway though, her design. So Viv stated that the speaker is a phoenix, which I don't see it. I mean, maybe the color in some way, but face shape wise, she just looks like Stella. And yeah, technically a phoenix is a mythical bird and doesn't have like a true description, but 9 times out of 10, they are often depicted as a more eagle, parrot, peacock type due to their color and beak style. And I know Viv said that's just how she draws birds, but come on now, dog. Oh, and that new fact that Lucifer created the Goetias, so that's also why she looks like them. But I feel like if Lucifer made the Goetia to be somewhat similar to angelic birds, then shouldn't they technically look kind of off compared to her and other angelic birds? Like, we were told Lucifer has crazy ideas, so you'd think she'd be like the very perfect version of a Goetia design, yet she looks identical to them. There should be some separation. She shouldn't look identical to them, but the rest of her is just a lot. Like, I see the vision, don't get me wrong, but everything feels so disconnected. And what I mean by that is most of the shapes don't really blend well or are only in just one place, making parts of the design feel separate. Like, her hair is the biggest example of this, as it has this very circle, smooth shape that flows down into curved waves, but the bangs are these sharp, long points. And then you have these, what I can only assume are big feathers that don't really match her bangs or her hair. And again, they don't even blend in with her hair at all, as they're a more curved, sharp style. They're also colored differently than the rest of her hair. And I know they're probably not her hair, but I have yet to find out what it is exactly. And then her dress, which yeah, the ball gown shape does kinda help blend the shapes of her hair, but the layers of feathers don't really match all that much to anything else on the design. And while the bottom layer of feathers do match her bangs in shape, the single feather styling they did makes it look disconnected from everything else. And then there's her sleeves being a blunt cut instead of like a feather-like design to match her dress, because again, it's another disconnected style, as that blunt cut is nowhere else on her dress. Also, the heart on her chest, just why? Like, okay, I get it's probably meant to be the heart of Mary, but with the amount of times Viv slaps a heart on a character, the design kind of loses its ability to hint at that. And also her tail feathers. Now, while I do like that they're meant to look like rolled up scrolls, however though, they just really look out of place. I think if the whole bottom of her skirt was just like pure scrolls, like that third layer of feathers was just purely scrolls, and then just kind of have like the longer ones in the back to still give the illusion of a tail feather, or if they just shaped them like feathers and then rolled them to look like scrolls. Anyway though, hands down, I just wish she was more simplified. And I know, and I've seen a lot of y'all say that she is pretty simplified for a Vivzy Pop character, and not exactly, because the color, like I said before, hides a lot of that unnecessary detail. And this is also why you guys hear me say I'm not a fan of overlapping colors. That way I can get a good look at all the fun details and not feel like I need to zoom in extra hard or feel like I need glasses. And that's exactly what the colors of the Speaker of God make me feel due to the overlapping of the same colors. Plus, nearly all the yellows are the same hue, which makes it even harder to see much of a difference with the designs and details. Because I'll be honest, I completely forgot she had facial markings due to how close in color they are. And don't get me wrong, yellow is a hard color to work with, but if she's meant to be a phoenix, then a dark yellow or a gold orange, I think would help to separate some of the color overlapping. And don't get me wrong, I do like her original color palette. I just think there needs to be one darker yellow. As for the overall design, I get what they're trying to do. The heart of Mary, the flowing hair that kind of looks like fire, but to me looks like sperm. The scroll tail feathers, since the speaker is connected to Metatron, who is God's scribe. But like, it all feels very first draft. And I should know, I redesigned her 25 times using the same ideas, plus some extra stuff, which I gotta rant about because I straight up cried over this design. Not happy tears. Oh, also, I just gotta say, I really do like her halo. I'm a sucker for that style. Anyway, on to the redesign that nearly broke me. Okay, for the redesign, which, yeah, this is a redesign. I know I usually do more of my own thing with more biblical lore, but for once, the speaker does actually have unique ideas executed on the design, though it is still a little mismatchy and, you know, just the overall same old anatomy and the too close in hue colors. So for her body, I decided to go a bit more be not afraid and less humanoid. That way she's less identical to the Goetias. I also used the angelic duck Lucifer showed Charlie as inspiration, so instead of arms, she now has just purely wings, which are 2 sets of wings where her arms originally were, and 3 extra on the length of her tail. That's right, tails. Since the speaker is designed more to be another basic seraphim instead of Metatron, who is often depicted as a regular man given abilities and archangel status, so since that wasn't included in this design, so I figured with her being primarily a phoenix and a seraphim, that I would use seraphims in the book Isaiah, as Seraph, aka fiery ones in the book of Isaiah, describes powerful beings with flaming wings and a serpent body, which is meant to symbolize burning purity and divine judgment, which we see embodies what the speaker's role is, as she's the closest thing to God we'll get in the show. Plus, it adds to the whole flaming phoenix thing, fire. It also kind of adds to the whole Lucifer transforming into a snake with no wings, because like there's this whole story about wingless snakes, but anyway, focus. Yeah, her body is now more of a winged snake bird-like hybrid. Her tail feathers are still long, but are more shaped like fire than scrolls, mainly to match with her hair, which leads me to her face. Which, again, I am very tired of the same face for the main bird characters of the series. Even if the Goetias are more Hell of a Boss related than has been, it's still disappointing to see the same owl-like face, especially for a phoenix-like character. Now, again, phoenix birds aren't real, but they are often depicted as eagles, peacocks, or parrots, and also seem to be based on this bird, the golden pheasant, which like all these birds have pretty unique or like longer beaks than the typical owl. So yeah, I'm not too sure why Viv keeps going back to owl, but I gave her a more prolonged beak. It's a slight mix of all the birds that I just said, you know, just so it seems like she's not one type of bird. I did also keep the face markings, but made it more infused with her hair than separate. That way you can see it better. And as you can see, I made her hair actual fire going up than the Princess Celestial side wave, which I find really funny because that style only works for MLP, mainly because of the flat style of the show. And Has Been Hotel isn't that way at all, so like it looks so weird when they do like 360s. I know they did the same thing with Kesha B for her hair, but the added effects to her hair at the time didn't make it look flat. It still technically looked off, but like at least it wasn't flat. The only reason I can think of why they did it this way was so the halo could be seen better, but I feel there could have been other ways around that. Anyway, as for her eyes, I did downgrade the eyelashes, not because I didn't like the original, but because they didn't really fit with this design anymore. So I kind of made them more pointed and curved to give the illusion of a sun, and also gave her longer blue inner eyelashes, similar to her eye color, as like a brightness style, though I'm not too sure how much I like that idea. We'll see in the final, we'll see how I feel in the final cleanup. Now for her outfit, or I guess her high neck cape, which hands down I tried so hard not to do, because one, I was really crazy worried it would look too similar to my redesign of Sarah, plus I really wanted the outfit to feel like it was a part of her body and not something you could just wear. But yeah, after 25 designs and a quick cry, I decided to do the cape, and let's just say it looks similar to Sarah's, because Sarah is unintentionally copying the Speaker of God, since the Speaker is the big bird in charge and Sarah is the medium bird in charge. So you know, it's like a uniform in a way. Anyway, I made the cape 4 layers of feathers, similar to her OG overlapping feathers of her dress. So the neck is just a simple short feather base with a flame from her tail feathers. The second layer is light blue like her eyes with light yellow for brightness. The third layer is more golden yellow with a golden orange ombre effect. And the fourth layer is the golden orange and a more dark burnt orange ombre color effect. Each layer is meant to make the whole thing look like fire at different heats, but I did also add blue to all the tips of her third and fourth layers to keep with the feather-like aspect of a typical phoenix. Plus, a lot of birds have like multicolored feathers, along with the tips of their feathers being a completely different color than the rest of them, so yeah. Oh, almost forgot. I did keep the 3 little light markings on her forehead in the sketch design, though hands down, I can't tell if I like it or not, or if the more eyelash style face markings is enough. Cause like every time I look at her design and I see those 3 markings, I'm like, okay, those are cute. And like, it doesn't make sense for why they're on her head because she already has a halo. So it's like a marking on top of a marking. So a hat on top of a hat. But like without the halo, it looks fine. But with the halo, it looks weird. So I'm having the same issue with my own sketch design. Oh, also originally I was going to include a front cloth to her cape, but decided to ditch it in favor of being able to see more of her body and the flame patterns on her torso. Also, to keep with the scroll idea of her OG tail, I decided to give her a scroll-like shawl wrapped around her. I would have doubled it up more, but I feel like the design was getting a little too busy with the added scroll. I also made her halo more simplified and more sun-shaped. I wish I could have done something a little bit more interesting, but I don't know. Now her color. Obviously, I used yellow and orange for her since she's meant to be a phoenix. However, I did keep within the realms of heaven's colors as there seems to be very little red in their world or on any of the angelic characters. So red on the speaker would have been a big no. So burnt orange is where I landed as I really needed one dark color in her color palette. It also became my rule of 3 color for her, like her tail feather, her 4th layer, aka the big layer on her cape, and her beak. As for the blue that she already originally had, I think the color kept changing due to the lighting, but I think her eyes are blue. I did end up using that as my highlight color to help break up some of the overlapping. The rest of her is this golden yellow and her original gold color, just slightly less pastel because she was blending in a little too much with the throne room. Oh, and I also made her more golden, mainly due to not being able to make her red, but also because of the golden pheasant phoenixes are somewhat based around. So yeah, and also I did ombre like a lot, and I tend not to do that very often because I know ombreing a moving character is a little difficult, but seeing as how she's only in one scene and we never see her again after that, I think it's fine to a degree. I mean, if they do bring her back, then like she could get like a whole new outfit or, you know, kind of just be naked because I don't know why an angel just can't be naked. I just really wanted her to look like fire because that's usually what a phoenix's whole thing is fire. Like, yeah, they symbolize rebirth and ashes to ashes, all that wonderful stuff. But like design wise, their main thing is that they're a bird and that they're made of fire half the time, or they look like they're made of fire. That was my number one goal in all of this because any of the other information that I was using was just like making me spiral. So I had to like simplify the ideas and then everything else could come into play because of the limitations that I had to do. Because again, she's in heaven. I can't use red in heaven. So there you go. But that is about it. Other than how I would have introduced her. Because in the court scene, like instead of her telling Sarah to calm herself, we have the whole room erupting chaos after Sir P hisses at Sarah. Because like the long pause of pure quiet is killing me. Plus, I bet that would have just instilled more hatred and fear from the angels since he was once a demon. So like having this creature hiss at you, it's not great. It's not a great thing to do in front of everybody that already originally hated you. But, you know, while everyone is arguing and screaming, the lights all go out and a giant candle lights itself in the middle of the room. And it's kind of shaped like it's melted to look like a chair. And once like the flicker is fully lit, it forms into a bird that wraps itself around the candle and sits. Everyone is quiet and the speaker like fully forms, you know, like has the full solid, I am now mass in this room instead of fire. And then we have the speaker looking around and locks on to Sir P and goes over to him, asks who he might be, to which Lute busts in, and we get slightly back into the original version, though Lute and everyone keeps interrupting each other till the speaker just says, well, let's see his story then, and pulls a scroll from his head that just outright says his sin. And, you know, everybody's like, see, but she's like, well, let's have him explain, aka flashback, and we see the scroll has also included what he did and why he's now there. That way it's more concrete on why he is there. The speaker says he isn't lying and all the paperwork is in order. Also, I know this is her one and only appearance in the show and is obviously only around to tell us and Heaven that Sir P is there because of redemption, but I do think she should have been more included in season 1. Like maybe a quick scene where Sarah is called in to see her, to check to see if everything is going okay, which Sarah lies to her about the meeting with Charlie. Then we have season 2 where she's fully revealed and her role in Heaven, and after her chat with Sarah, we have like one more scene, maybe the part where Sir P and Sarah have their like little moment together. We could have Sir P see that Sarah is having a conversation with the speaker and like the speaker sees him and leaves because she sees him see her, and that's why he's not allowed back there, as it's supposed to be a more private place for the angels to like congregate and not just have regular schmegular humans just pop in whenever. You know, just small things to show that she's not just there to say, yeah, that's fact and dip, you know? Anyway, though, this was a lot of fun and absolute hell all in one go. But I love the final design, and now I can finally do some edits with the redesign angel designs. Like I wanted to do all of them in one sitting. Obviously I can't include Adam because he's, you know, MIA, but but anyway, yeah, so anyway, next video will probably be Saturday, and I'm not sure if I will cover the first 2 episodes of the Mighty Nine or like the whole season in general, or just talk about D&D shows as a whole, because so far I'm kind of disappointed with the way D&D based shows are treated these days, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we have 3 new members to scream at today: Sunny Art in the Sky, Ed Me D Strange, and Love Lasagna. Welcome to the madness. And also thank you to 4'10" for the super thanks on my final review of Hazbin Hotel season 2 a month ago before I dipped. They're my ride or die, so big thanks all around. I also forgot my board of teeth at home, so for now have dancing sullux for your time. Also, thank you to the other members. You have my whole heart. Everyone else, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials right here, and if possible, hit that join button or super to join the board of teeth. It really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!